Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night. Let's recap our top story of the day. The football team defeated Ball State 38-20 for their 6th win, and they became bowl eligible. That is the word of the day for the first time since 1994. Here's how it went down at Memorial Stadium last weekend. Ball State quarterback Nate Davis is going to be intercepted by Chris Phillips, and he returns it 58 yards for an IU touchdown. It's 17-10 IU, and the big plays would come all day long. Marcus Thigpen takes a screen pass from Kellen Lewis for 31 yards all the way down to the Ball State 3-yard line. And the Hoosiers would score on this play here by James Hardy, a 4-yard touchdown reception, his 2nd of the game. There would be flags on the play, but it was pass interference on Ball State. Jane Hepner and James Hardy embracing as the Hoosiers get their 6th victory. Let's bring in who we're calling our resident college football expert, Mark Kaplan, and tell us about this weekend in college football.
Each week, college football gets better and better, and this week was no exception. The biggest game of the week was the battle for bragging rights for the top spot in the Pac-10 as the 4th-ranked Arizona State Sun Devils tried to stay undefeated versus the 5th-ranked Oregon Ducks. Ducks up 14-3 and were flying away with the game when Dixon throws it to Jason Williams for the 27-yard touchdown. Oregon brings out all the tomfoolery as Dixon throws his 4th touchdown pass to Drew Davis, go on to win 35-23 to move in 3rd place in the BCS. The best game of the week was fought down in the South as the 3rd-ranked LSU Tigers battled the 17th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. The Tide were down 17-3 in the beginning of the 3rd quarter when DJ Hall catches the ball, never falls, as he pleases all for the 67-yard touchdown. Let's fast forward all the way to the 4th quarter, game tied at 27 when LSU punts to Javier Arenas, who makes like a tree and leaves all the Tigers behind him as he runs 61 yards to the end zone to put Bama up 7. LSU would counter with a touchdown of their own as fashionably late early Doucette makes the nice catch from Matt Flynn for the 32-yard touchdown that would tie the game at 34s. Bama's next possession, when John Parker Wilson drops back to pass, he gets hits, fumbles, and LSU would recover, would get a 1-yard touchdown run to win the game 41-34 as LSU moves in the 2nd spot in the BCS ratings. Usually there's the player of the week, but when a team puts up 76 points, then they must get the team of the week. And that goes to the Kansas Jayhawks, who scored easier than a freshman girl walking into a frat house as they scored 48 points in the first half, had 11 total touchdowns. QB Todd Reason threw for 354 yards and allows these 6 touchdowns, while running back Brandon McAnderson rushed for 119 yards and 4 touchdowns. They remain undefeated on the season and move into 4th in BCS. In case you didn't hear or didn't see the graphic at the beginning, I'm Mark Kaplan, and that was the rundown.
It was Halloween night, and all the men's soccer team had for Kentucky was tricks. The team posted a 4-0 win with goals scored by Rich Balkin, Daniel Kelly, Eric Alexander, and Brad Ring. Shea Kane and Chris Monroe combined on the shutout for the Hoosiers. Kane, who has started every game this year for IU, was recently named to the ESPN The Magazine Academic All-District Team. Kane leads the Big Ten in goals against average, save percentage, and shutouts, all while posting a 3.9 GPA and majoring in business. It's been a roller coaster season for the IU men's soccer team. The squad started out hot, going 3-0-1 in their first 4 games, including a victory over then highly ranked UCLA. The Hoosiers then went on a 3-game losing streak, culminating with a home loss to UAB. However, Big Ten play brought better fortunes as the team went 4-0-1 in conference matches while beating non-conference opponents such as Notre Dame and Kentucky. The 7th-ranked Hoosiers look to wrap up their season on a positive and clinch the conference title in a Sunday afternoon match in Madison against Wisconsin. To Madison, Wisconsin we go. Not much offense in this game, but shots nonetheless. Shea Kane supermans the ball, clears it out of the zone. IU 0-0. Right here, Rich Balkin, freshman, just misses the goal. Comes so close, yet so far away. Next play, IU corner kick, melee in front of the net. Kicks this like his ex-girlfriend, nothing doing. No goal, 0-0. Wisconsin, IU still pops the ball out of the net. Wisconsin's playing great defense on the high-powered Hoosier offense. On this play, number 4, Scott Lorenz, direct kicks, puts some good old English on the ball. Nothing doing. Shea Kane, man, he's a monster in the net. Nothing's getting by him in this game. We go to the overtime. IU one last shot, bounces off about 3 guys. Nothing doing again, 0-0, game over. IU ends up with a tie, but clinches the Big Ten regular season and the #1 seed to the conference tournament. The women's soccer team had their regular season come to an end last weekend with a 7-0 loss against #8 Purdue. The loss puts the Hoosiers at 12-5-2 overall and 5-4-1 in the Big Ten. Parissa Uricon of the Boilermakers had a big day, finishing with 2 goals and breaking Purdue's record for goals in a season. The loss doesn't dampen what has been a great season overall for the Hoosiers, and they'll begin playing the Big Ten tournament this Thursday when they take on the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The Hoosiers men's and women's swimming and diving teams hosted the double dual meet last weekend right here in Bloomington. For the 8th-ranked men, the meet meant going up against 2 higher-ranked teams in #5 Michigan and #1 Texas. The women were also facing the Wolverines and Longhorns. Presley Bard and Brittany Barwagon picked up individual victories for the women. But the Lady Hoosiers ultimately fell to Texas 190-180 and also lost to Michigan 207-163. As for the men, they were defeated by both teams as well in the first day of competition. On day 2, the teams competed in a unique double-distance meet, participating in events not normally seen on a swimming schedule. Senior Ben Henson was the outstanding performer for the Hoosiers. He won 4 events on the day. The team will be back in action at home on November 15th when they host the Hoosierland Open.
The women's volleyball team hoped to snap a 3-game losing streak as they headed to Columbus Friday to take on those nasty Buckeyes. The Hoosiers dropped the first 2 games but answered back by winning Game 3. But OSU prevailed in the end, winning the match 3-1. Freshman Ashley Benson finished the match with a career-high 17 kills, while senior Lauren Didion finished with 11. In other IU sports, the field hockey team season came to an end on Thursday with an 8-2 loss to Iowa in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament, finishing the year at 8-10. The IU women's tennis team competed in the Western Michigan Super Challenge over the weekend, with Alba Berdala and Lindsay Stuckey advancing to the finals of their group, but ultimately losing in the championship match. The men's golf team finished tied for 6th at the UNC-G Bridgestone Classic last week, while the women's team finished 10th at the Palmetto Intercollegiate. And finally, the preseason 15th-ranked Hoosier wrestling team held their inter-squad scrimmage last Monday. The team is hoping for a great year as they return 4 All-Americans from last year's squad.
Before we go, let's see what's on tap for IU sports here in Bloomington this upcoming week. The women's basketball team will be hosting the Australian touring team on Tuesday. Tip-off for that one is at 7 o'clock. Then on Friday, the team will officially start their season when they host Albany. Also on Friday, the women's volleyball team hosts Minnesota at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, the men's basketball team has their second and final exhibition match against UNC Pembroke. Also Saturday, the men's and women's cross-country teams will be at home hosting the NCAA Great Lakes Regional. Finally, on Saturday at 7 p.m., the women's volleyball team hosts Iowa. Now, Sean, with all the excitement of the IU football team this season and with finally becoming bowl eligible, the basketball team season is just coming around. What are you more excited about, a bowl or the basketball team?
I got to give credit to the football team. Tough year, play 13. We made it to a bowl, but I'm definitely excited for the IU basketball season to begin.
All right. Make sure you catch us next week on Hoosier Sports Night.
I'm Sean Mikas.
And I'm Patrick Hurley.